Knitworthy, sharing about the fiber art from the heart of the Ozarks.
Hello, and welcome to Knitworthy. This is episode 2, and if you are a returning viewer, we would like to say, you came back!
Sitting ovation.
Yay! If this is your first time watching us,
Which likely most people would be the first time.
really, probably it is, then hello, welcome to our home. We are podcasting from the beautiful Ozarks of Missouri, and I am Brianne, also known as Being Brianne on Ravelry and Instagram, and this is my beautiful mother.
Forgot my name for a minute.
Your name is Linda.
My name's Linda, and I'm Stony Brook on Instagram and Facebook and Ravelry. Actually, I don't know what I am on Facebook. I'm something. I might be Linda.
Yeah, you're Linda.
I think I'm Linda Stony Brook. Actually, I changed my middle name.
Aren't you fancy?
I am fancy.
Mixing things up. Look at that.
Can we just qualify this? I'm going to have a very red face for a while.
It was like the recording Olympics to try to get to the finish line of actually pressing the record button, like officially.
Yeah. I think we should really do an official bow down to all the podcasters that work through all the daily details of trying to get online. We bow to your expertise. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we learned some things from our first podcast. The first one is that I don't know if it's because I'm just really pale or what, and we have a lot of windows in this house, but I apparently have like alien skin that like shifts colors and gets all shiny in places. I don't know what that's about.
It's like after we recorded, we said, when did you turn into an alien?
Right.
I wonder if it wasn't that way on anybody else's screen. Maybe it was just ours, and we were panicking about it.
I hope it was just us. Also, apparently I do this a lot.
Well, that's because you're with me. You don't normally do it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's your shocked look. Everything I say, that you're going like, really? Big eyes.
Well, I watched it through with my husband, and I was like, wow. Apparently, I'm amazed about a lot of things because I kept going.
John hasn't even seen it yet.
He hasn't?
No.
Well, that's okay. Brian loved it. But he has to love everything I do because we're married and he thinks I'm fabulous.
He does. He should. He married you.
Exactly. So what's something that you learned?
Well, I learned that I have way too much. I thought I was always the quiet one. I'm not. I have way too much to say. I'm editing this stupid podcast. Well, I shouldn't say stupid because that's a bad word.
We're not allowed to say that in our house.
We don't say that.
No.
But I was editing
Mm-hmm.
the podcast and realized, holy cow, this is going to be the longest episode ever, unless we cut out some of the millions of things I thought you all needed to know.
Well, I think what we both came away with is you don't have to talk about everything in the whole entire world on your very first episode.
Well, I was worried there'd only be one, so I wanted to tell them everything I knew.
Get it all out there!
Which could leave the second podcast a little bit wanting since we may have covered it all. I don't know.
It's just crickets and us looking at you like this.
Lots of Brie with deer in headlights and me going, so anyway.
Oh my gosh.
And to solve the lighting issue, we became the traveling podcast. We found the only perfect lighting situation was in the kitchen in front of the stove.
Yeah, and we're not a cooking podcast.
Brianne thought not appropriate.
No. I mean, I do spend a lot of time in the kitchen, but not enough for us to include that as part of our background.
And I suppose we could kind of try and tweak it so it fit in, but it we didn't think that was a good idea.
No.
So the only place that our blinds are in the bedrooms. And so we thought, I'll just use my bedroom.
It's perfect.
It's like my knitting room anyway.
It is. Yeah.
And so I thought this would be great. And we did a little test. We thought it was going to be good with our phone. Was that it?
No.
What did we do?
Well, we used the computer, but like it was like I felt like Bin Laden in the caves. Like trying to put out a podcast. We had like all these lights situated like everywhere. We had brought in every light from the house.
And we were very claustrophobic.
We were.
And we still looked like we were podcasting from a cave.
We did.
Yeah.
So rather than doing that, we just said,
better to be overlit than underlit.
Absolutely. And it was all grainy and it just wasn't pretty. So,
but it would have been cute because I had done this little arrangement of fibery things behind us.
It was adorable.
It would have been fun.
It would have been.
You know, we're going to do the same thing this week with going on for 15 minutes about things that have nothing to do with the podcast.
Yeah. Do you see the timer at the little bottom there, in the bottom left? It's the little red square.
Oh, now I see it.
There you
Okay.
go. Now we know. We've been podcasting for 5 minutes.
Let's get going then.
We gotta move. We gotta move.
We have things to
Was there
cover
anything
today,
else?
people.
That's right. Oh, we also learned to turn off our iPhones and iPads.
Yeah, we did.
So sorry about that, guys. They're
Hey.
off this time, though.
I did turn mine off too.
Yeah.
But aren't you excited that we had so many people saying such
Oh,
sweet things to us? And
My goodness.
we have people subscribe. What the heck?
Oh, I've meant to look before we recorded,
Yeah.
but we're up to like 40 subscribers now.
Really?
Yeah, and we have almost 200 views.
Woo!
I know. I kept giving, anybody who would listen the update. We have 2 subscribers. 2 people like us. Oh, yeah.
Wow. So fun. And you'll have to pardon me. I'm totally, because we have been moving locations today, trying to find a place that would work. I'm totally hot flashing. You people that are like over 50 something know what I'm talking about.
She's glistening. That's a reference to our last podcast. Watch it. You'll know.
Yeah, that's me.
That's right.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'm really not in ill health. I am just a little bit hot flashy today. So,
But you're still pulling off that fabulous scarf.
hey, my scarf.
Yeah.
This is
Which
so,
I love.
I do too. And I don't know that I can do it justice, but this was from my friend Peggy that I talked about last time. And
From
I
the
can't get done-
100th sheep?
From the 100th sheep. And I
Mhm.
can't talk about her too much because, she's wonderful. But she does silk dyeing, and this was done with snow, people.
That's amazing.
Snow dyeing on silk.
Oh my goodness.
And it is done, there's a special name for it, and I think she actually, I don't know if she's teaching it, she might be,
Mhm.
but it is a special way of folding the silk and then applying the dye into the snow, and then you're packing it all around. Oh my goodness, she showed me how she does it, and
I don't know that she'd be doing it right this second because it's like 90 degrees out.
probably not right this minute.
No.
But you know what?
In the winter?
I
Yeah.
asked if we could do the snow dyeing thing, and the very night that I had asked for it,
Yeah.
it snowed.
It's like a miracle.
It was a miracle.
That's beautiful.
It was a dyeing miracle. And so she does have she has
Right.
like a snow cone machine thing that
Yeah.
she uses to make ice if she really wants to do it. But I think she tries to do most of her snow dyeing when it actually snows.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It is so beautiful.
I love it.
I am wearing my red shawl of happiness. First of all,
totally
look at this
love it.
red. What is not to love about this color red? It is so happy and cheerful. And the pattern is called Groovy by, Jumper Cables Knitting on Ravelry. And I know. And this is actually from the Sanguine Griffin in their Bugga yarn base. They are no more, but I know that they're both independently dyeing.
Oh, are they?
Uh-huh. And this is the Red Spider Mite colorway. I do not like spiders, but I like this color. So I kind of have to talk myself into it every time.
Okay.
Don't remember something with spiders?
Well,
in there?
I'm obviously a big fan of scarves because
Yeah.
probably every time you see me, I have a scarf on.
Mhm.
But I love that this has the knots tied in it.
I know.
It's adorable that way.
Yes, it is.
And
It's-
then let's make sure that they can see that it's zigzagging on this
yeah,
side.
here, I'll take it off and take it all
Well,
off
not
so you
all,
can see.
please.
Okay,
just
this
the
then.
scarf.
So you can kind of see it alternates. Get a little closer. There you go. So it alternates. You have a purl side and a knit side, and a purl side and a knit side, and then you're binding off. I think it was like 4 stitches at the beginning of your last row, at part of that repeat thing. Niner.
Is that a 9 in there?
There was a niner. Yes,
That's a Tommy Boy reference.
That is,
just
yes,
in
we
case.
do like that movie.
We have random movies that we like.
we do.
That's one of them.
That is. So this.
Along with Luke, I am your father.
Yes.
That's my mimicking a fan.
Yeah, it was really good too.
Almost
Good
like
job. It's like, is it colder in here? Where's the fan?
I looked a little verklempt.
So yeah, so this is what I'm wearing
love
today.
it.
Thank you.
You know who would love this also?
Who?
Tammy Eastburn,
Oh,
who
she's
is
a red
also known
person.
as Darth Knitter.
Yeah, she's a red person.
I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't have some of that yarn in her stash.
Do not steal this from me, Tammy. I will take you down.
That's mean.
I won't. I'll just ask for it nicely back and then just stalk you until you give it back to
She
me.
was one of the sweet people that did a fundraiser for Owen, I think.
Yeah, she did.
It helped spread the word so that we could get help for Owen, and we got a lot of help for him.
We did. Absolutely. Oh, you know who else spread the word? Besides Tammy, because she mentioned us on her podcast, The Proverbial Knitter. But also,
Which I watched. Hello.
what were the ones that we got the message about today? Who mentioned us?
Wolf
on
Farms podcast.
Yes!
What?
And I had never seen it before. So cute. I watched it today because you said they had mentioned us.
Yes, and I watch them because she's got a chihuahua, just like me. I have 2 chihuahuas.
Yes, you do.
And he's fighting cancer too.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt like a kindred spirit with her.
Yes.
We're going through the hard things together, and so when she's talking about what Fuji's going through,
Mm-hmm.
then I can understand that because we've gone through the same thing with Owen.
Yeah.
And Fuji's her baby.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So yay, Wolf Farms.
Thank you so much for talking about us in a good way.
Yeah.
You don't like us. Just
They always say nice things. I mean, she doesn't lie or anything.
That's good. I'm glad.
She'd find a sweet way to say something bad, I'm sure. She'd say, like, it's not my favorite.
that is something we say.
It is something.
If something
we say.
is not our favorite, then
Yeah.
we just go ahead and say it's
You don't
not
have
my
to
favorite.
trash something. Just, it's not my favorite.
You don't have to love everything.
Yeah. But we do love Wolf Farms. Hey, I am bathing with her soap. Oh my gosh. Well, not her personal soap. I didn't go and steal it from her house or anything. But yeah, they have they've done their own scent now that smells like apples
Ooh.
and a little bit of cinnamon and
This one for this month, because it's a new month, they have one that's a peach
peach.
scented one, which
Yeah. No, I think I'm all about apples. I think I'm a firm believer that I will keep restocking her apple scent because I found the scent that is me.
there you go. Classic Linda.
Classic.
Well, what do you have that you're working on? That looks like a sock, young lady.
You know what? I decided that I have been doing so much with my other fiber stuff that I should do a little bit of knitting this week. And not to be shown up by the infamous Brienne and her fancy sock blockers, I thought I'm going to totally show her up because I have
Oh, snap.
Booyah!
You
A
see this?
form.
I can't compete with this.
Yeah. See, people? Now look, you have to see if I can get it to show. Is it going to show? Look at, it's a vintage foot form. And I don't
It's
know.
adorable.
His name should be Jeff or something, because doesn't it say Jeffries? Yeah, so we'll name him Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Jeff lives in my closet, and he models whatever my favorite sock of the time is, and I put the other sock up in here because I just love looking at him. Look at he stands on his tiptoe. Well, it's got to be a girl, so I don't know. Is there a female form of Jeff? Jeffrina? I don't know. Okay, here,
Jeffykins?
our first contest. Name the foot form.
Yes. Name the foot form.
She should have a name, don't you think?
She should.
So,
She's got lovely ankles.
she has fabulous ankles.
Yes.
So I got this when I was on a junking trip with my sister-in-law, Ruth Ann,
Mhm.
who is Sugar Pie Farmhouse. And she does, everything she does is adorable. She could show you a brown paper bag and you'd be like, I want that.
She could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we were out together, I told her I wanted something because, you work hard. Well, first of all, my first sock took me a year to knit. So after you knit that, you really want to enjoy them.
Exactly.
It doesn't take me as long now. So I wanted to be able to showcase my sock. Now, this is so you all feel better. Do you see I've got rigidy things happening? This fish lips kiss heel didn't quite do something right here. And it's stockinette. I love my sock. Socks don't have to be perfect in my world. So don't ever be ashamed that your knitting's not up to par. Hey, as long as you're enjoying it, that's the deal.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
You know what? And if it doesn't fit you, it's going to fit somebody else. You'll find somebody to wear it.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I wanted a gray sock.
Uh-huh.
So here's what I did. I went onto my favorite Amazon, and I'm going to look at my notes here because I probably have it written down somewhere. This is Patton's Kreuzbach. Brianne's going to have the link on there.
I will hook you up.
Yeah. And it creates a little bit of a pattern. So it's still, I looked today, it's still available. This is the slate jacquard pattern. And it's $7.49. If you're on Prime, it's free shipping. So now I'm sure some of you shoppers get double coupons at Joann's or something and have gotten it for way less, but because my Joann's like a half an hour away, that'd be gas. That could cost me more too. So I went ahead and did that. But here's the thing, I ordered one skein.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And tips on Patton's Croy sock. Someone had left a comment that they had made a pair of socks out of this, which I read as a pair of socks out of one skein. No, it's one sock.
For like a child, maybe.
Maybe
like
a child.
Small child.
Yeah, I'm not a child. Act like one, but not as big as one. So I love it. And actually, if you go to the link that we're going to have, they have tons of different colorways.
Yes.
And I've heard people say they like it.
You know, I've knit several pairs of socks out of Patton's Croy, and they are very nice, and they wear for a while because they have a good nylon content in them.
And
So-
I'm finding that the yarn is enjoyable. You know, it's not a luxury yarn like cashmere, but if you could see my feet right now, you would know, do not put cashmere on those babies. And
it's time for a pedicure for both of us.
yeah. And I, last year, decided to graduate. Now, I still have a lot of things in Ziploc baggies, people, but I decided it's time to be fancy. I was watching my Amy Beth, I call her, as she belongs to me, not in a creepy way, but
Just slightly stalkerish.
I
There's
just
nothing
think
wrong with
she's
that.
wonderful. I mean, she's like Dawn from Wolf Farms, just great people that you know. I would love to meet them because I just think they're wonderful,
Yeah.
and I think they'd be great people.
And you know what? Like the first time I watched Amy Beth
Yeah.
from Fat Squirrel Speaks, that's her podcast, I was like, you and I could be best friends. Like this. Like
Though-
right away.
Though she has said she gets comments from people that say at first they didn't get her, and then
Oh,
they
I
love
love
her.
her.
So she may be one of those. Give her, if you haven't seen her, don't just watch her one time and quit, because if you haven't quite caught the Amy Beth train, you'll catch it.
Totally.
If you give her a few chances.
Yeah.
Just because she has such a quirky sense of humor, totally love
Yeah.
her sense of humor. But she is the maker of fabulous bags. And that was why I held this up. Okay, she uses like upholstery grade fabrics,
Or designer grade.
not upholstery, you're right, designer
Mhm.
grade. Is that showing gray on? Can you tell?
Yes.
Okay.
It looks beautiful.
And
Good job.
I love that the zipper goes all the way across with the handle. And she just puts her, what? Where's my fat squirrel? I don't have a label. Oh no. I was going to show you the label, but there is no label in this. You have to trust me that it's really the genuine article. But she uses just kind of like I don't know if it's canvas or duck cloth or something in there. Something. So it's a nice light interior so you can see what's in there. And this is not her biggest size. I have one of her big sweater ones too. So I have 2 of her bags. I would like 50 of her bags is what I'd like. But it works great for sock projects. I have room in here for all my notions. And if you are a fan of Fish Lips Kiss Heel, Brianne's got the look on her face. Okay, Mom, move on. One more thing. If you like the Fish Lips Kiss Heel, I got this mesh bag, and it's not mesh, it's plastic. It's called Alvin. It's an Alvin bag.
Not the chipmunks, though.
Not the chipmunks.
No chipmunks come with
I
this
just
bag.
noticed
Don't
that
get your hopes
Alvin.
up.
What the heck?
Yeah, don't get your hopes up.
But it is, it's got a mesh inlaid in plastic, and it's just the right size. I got it on Amazon, and it's just the right size for foot patterns. And I think we talked last week. I have patterns for.
Okay, did she not do, look at how cute these are. Look at the patterns. They're adorable. They're not just like plain pieces of paper or cardboard. No. They're adorable.
Staples has these adorable file folders, and they're really sturdy, so I cut those up, and then I tried writing on black. You can see how well that works. So I ended up putting stickers on the back with my notes about how I made socks for them. But what I like is I have one sock bag. I don't usually have more than one pair of socks on the needles. So I have my sock needles in here and my foot patterns and a little box of notions.
Is that from Brighton?
Yeah.
I love Brighton jewelry.
I had it for years and decided it needs to be something. So I've got all my little stuff there.
I like that it matches the foot pattern too. It's like they go together perfectly.
It does.
It's adorable.
Yes, I love it. And so it fits a sock in there. It fits in my purse because I have a big purse. But I love it, and it sits up nicely. That's my big plug for Fat Squirrel bags. Now, if you want an Amy Beth Fat Squirrel bag, you have to watch her podcast basically because she gives a heads up when she's going to be posting to her shop.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, if you are not like set your alarm and sit at your computer like minutes ahead of time because you will often not get one. Because people are big fans of them because they're just great bags.
And I like that she shows you the previews of what the bag is going to be on her podcast.
That's true.
Like the week before or a couple of days before. That way you know, oh, I love that bag. I want to try and get it. And you can see all the different colors that she's doing them in and the patterns and everything. And that's very smart.
She's done some themed ones in the past few months too that are that. I forget the name of is it Spoonfish or it's some name like that where they do these kind of customized theme-based fabrics. She did a Doctor Who bag and Goodnight Moon, I think she did, and some other ones. So check out Amy Beth. She doesn't need my help because like everybody knows her. But you know what? I feel like I need to bless her with a shout out.
Bless your heart.
Bless your little
Bless
heart.
your little heart, Amy.
And you know what? We have lots of Amyisms. That's the last thing I'm going to say about Amy right now. But one of them is fancy, which I felt very fancy with my foot corner.
Totally. For sure.
I think we should also start a thread somewhere about how many Amyisms have we picked up. Amy Beth.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to figure
Lots.
that out. Yeah.
Lots. Yeah. Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
That's why she does it.
I love it. Okay, well, I've had a couple things I've been working on. What I'm knitting on right now is a sock. Shocker. Brianne's knitting socks. This is not a pattern. It's just a pattern that I said, I want to knit this. And so I did, because I'm a maker and a doer. Creator of things. If I knock over that water.
And a breaker.
And a breaker.
And a spiller.
Great things, yes.
I already spilled something too.
She did. It's my turn now. This is my Hellebore socks. This is the name of the yarn colorway. But I'm doing a Lacy mock cable going down this side and this side. Can you see it? It's pretty. I like it. The yarn is new to me, and it is Ladybug Fiber Company. And she's on Etsy. Again, big surprise that Brianne buys things on Etsy. Not really. This is a kettle dyed yarn, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 460 yards. That's a pretty good put up for a skein of sock yarn.
It totally is, but I have a question for you.
Yes.
What does kettle dyed mean?
It's just a method of dyeing. So rather than submerging the whole thing, like just doing one color, I'm so wrong on this. Please, no, I'm wrong. Don't listen to me. It was Dad.
That was the world's loudest sneeze.
You heard it. We've recorded it, people. That
I wonder
was
if
loud.
they could hear it if we're just busting up laughing.
I don't know, but my dad just sneezed really loud. I started this last week, and I'm on toe decreases now, which makes me very happy. But isn't that pretty? I love that yarn color. Yeah, please.
Love it.
I really
Beautiful.
want more of her yarn. I have one other skein in a self-striping, but I think I might need some more yarn of this. That does not surprise anybody that I want more yarn.
You need yarn, especially.
I do. I really need is more yarn. So I started that. That's the progress I've made right here. And then I've also put a lot of progress on my Blue Moon Hitchhiker made out of Blue Moon Fiber Arts socks that rock lightweight. Look, it's a lot bigger. Yeah.
Where were you last time?
Last time I was all the way down here.
Oh, wow. good progress.
Yeah.
As it gets bigger,
It does. So here we have. Okay. Really in just a kind of zany mood today. Sorry.
I think it's all of the pressure we were on before. It was like such a relief to finally be
I
recording.
know. I think that's it. Yeah. Promise next time I'll be a little bit more cool. But not this time.
Cool.
We are cool. I don't know how many teeth. I'm gonna count. Watch the excitement of magic of brand counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 teeth. I can count all the way to 31 people.
Awesome.
So they say with a larger skein of yarn than I have, like that has more yardage, you can get about 40 teeth, which are these little things right here, the teeth. It's kind of similar to this, but a little bit different. Apparently I like
Sort of
things.
You like salty.
I do.
Yes. It's pretty though.
But it's beautiful, and I'm loving the colors. Here, this is the Blue Moon Fiber Arts Socks That Rock Lightweight in Ooh La Lagoon. And I ordered that from the Loopy U, but they are out. So don't try and get it there. Find someplace else. But go and get it. And I'm loving that. I actually got to knit on it. Yesterday we took the kids to see Rio 2 in the movie theater. Totally cute movie. And
Is
so
that the lizard one?
no.
What is it?
It's about birds. It's animated animals. So pick your movie. There's a lot of them like that, animated animals.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's Rango, I think, that you're thinking of.
I'm thinking Rango.
Yes. But I got to knit, I think, 2 teeth on it while I was in the movie theater, so that's kind of fun.
Bree's good at knitting with her, I was going to say with her eyes closed. That's not so much
I could.
in the dark, I should say.
Yes.
Knitting with your eyes
That's actually kind of more impressive.
But the question would be, why are you knitting with your eyes closed?
I don't know. I could be like a carnival freak show person.
Like the woman with the
beard.
and you're the one who can knit with your eyes closed. Hey, a knitting slideshow.
Yay!
That would be a really fun thing
That
to
would be
put
fun.
together. All the, you know what? We should have people tell us if they can do any tricks when they knit.
That's true.
Hey, I could do Portuguese knitting. Which
You
is what I'm doing
could.
right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see. I learned from Andrea Wong, and years ago, because I was having trouble with my wrists. And this way of knitting is very easy on your wrists, in
Yes.
my opinion. Okay, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to try and diagnose anything. Here's all the legal disclaimers.
I like it.
But yeah, so this is a way of knitting that's been around forever. And Brazil and Portugal, lots of places like that. And it's a speedy way to knit. I'm not knitting my fastest right now because I'm not trying to impress you. Look at me knitting with my eyes closed.
I like it. That's good.
Yeah. Anyway,
Did you finish your washcloth from last week?
I did. I didn't bring it in.
Congratulations.
Because it's a washcloth.
That's okay.
But you know what? I did finish it. And you're going to be impressed with this. I had some yards left over of that.
Yeah.
I could make it just a tiny bit bigger. I could have gone a few more rows wider.
Uh-huh.
But I did not keep the extra few yards.
You did not. This is very unlike her people. She usually saves everything.
So, like, I do things like, I like to do, like, motif crocheting. Like, for instance, the African flower motif. There was a group I was a part of for a while where we would do those and swap them, or toys are a good place to use up little bits of leftovers and things. But I went through the other day, and all the places I had stashed little bits of yarn, it was like two or three. It's either 2 or 3 ginormous bins like this.
What?
You know, like the big Christmas bins I have.
Yeah.
Full of little baby balls of yarn.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and so I thought, okay, I think 2 ginormous bins is enough for what random toys I'd be making. You know, at some point you have to draw the line, and I finally drew the line, Brienne.
I'm so proud of you.
I know.
You're so grown up.
Trying not to be a hoarder.
No.
So,
No.
yeah, so I did finish that.
Yay! I finished my socks, my pillar socks, my handy. I don't have a beautiful foot. Yeah. I don't have a beautiful foot, but I do have sock blockers.
Oh, ouch. Hard metal. Soft, beautiful, lifelike foot.
Yeah.
Oh, mine looks alive.
Run away, little foot. Run away. It was trying to run away. Did you see that?
It did. It almost ran off the table.
These are the pillar socks that I finished by Lisa Stitchway on Ravelry.
Okay, don't you love her name?
I do. How perfect.
Stitchway.
How perfect for a yarn designer or a pattern
Is it
designer.
really her name?
That's what it says. I believe everything on the internet, so I'm going to say yes. So those are the pillar socks, and this is out of Springtree Road yarn in the muscadine sock base, and the pattern or the colorway is pear.
And because you lied before.
I did. I lied to you. And I'm sorry about that. I shouldn't have.
We're not about lies on
We
this
aren't.
podcast, Brienne.
No, but I found the listing in my stash because I got the yarn so long ago and tried so many patterns with it, I completely lost the band for it. So I didn't know, but I knew what it was. I just didn't know the exact name. But now it has a name. I call it by its name. It's the pear colorway.
It does look like pear, too.
It does.
It has a perry like.
It does. And not like Perry. It doesn't look like Perry. It's like a Pear.
Perry the platypus? What Perry were you talking about?
Perry Mason? Who knows? There's a lot of Perrys in this world. That's a really culturally relevant.
The kids of today totally gone on that one now.
Yeah.
They're like, Perry Mason? What?
Mm-hmm. So 2 socks, count them, 1, 2, right here, done.
Beautiful.
So I'm very happy about those. And
am I getting socks for Mother's Day?
I have your Mother's Day stuff coming to me, but it's not socks.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. That's all right. I'm just going to allow you to process that information before Mother's Day. That way, it's not like a huge letdown on a very important day.
Okay. That's good of you.
Well,
really.
I try to be sensitive like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I have. Oh, I want to show you my beautiful bag.
Oh.
Now, okay, do you remember, this was like 3 or 4 years ago on my birthday. You got me a kit that was like a Jane Austen kit. This is the bag from that kit. I have no idea. There's no label in it that says who it is by, but it's a beautiful, I love the pattern on it. Isn't that pretty? It's pretty.
I wonder if it's the lady who did the Velveteen Rabbit set.
I don't entirely know, but it was like a Jane Austen themed kit, and it came with a shawl pattern and the yarn, which I have still. I haven't actually knitted it, and I was gonna save for its maiden voyage of your holding yarn. I was gonna save it for. Yes. We need a bottle of champagne. Where's the champagne?
Yes.
I was going to save it for that shawl, but then I haven't knitted it yet. And I was like, why am I keeping a beautiful bag, and not using it, saving it for like this special occasion, apparently for when we go on the Queen Mary.
That's a great one for a purse bag, too,
yes.
for a project.
Yes, I agree. It fits very nicely in my purse.
And is this another thing where you're saying that, here's my cute thing, you can't have it because I can't tell you where to get one?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. This is a good theme.
It's a good thing, yeah.
Are we calling it the Neener segment?
Yes.
Okay.
Neener.
That's how she plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, to say Neener is a segment that we're going to call Gilding the Lily. The term Gilding the Lily comes from you have a beautiful lily. There's no point in adding anything to it to make it more beautiful, because it's beautiful just the way it is. It's perfect.
Okay.
Don't add more things. Okay.
I have no idea what you're going to say here now. It's a little scary. This is like you last week. I'm like,
big eyes. So I added to my stash this week. My stash is perfect and beautiful just the way it is. I don't need to add anything to it, but yet I have. I am gilding the lily by adding some of this. It is String Theory Colorworks Continuum in the, that's our self-striping. And this is the Large Hadron Collider, which makes me think of Big Bang Theory because they have this whole thing with a Large Hadron Collider. And it's at 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. Look at, it's beautiful. So
there's 6-row repeats I just saw.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a little stockier of a stripe, I think.
A little bit.
Not like too wide, but it's not tiny either.
Let me show you. You need to see how pretty this is. So it'll be 6 rows brown, 6 rows light green, 6 rows violet, 6 rows white, 6 rows teal. And that was fun. I like that. Gilding the lily. My stash is perfect. I really don't need to add anything to it.
Oh, do not go there.
But
you know that you're ready to add more.
I am. I'm always ready to add more.
Okay.
That's never a question. But I really do. I need.
Gilder,
do I need to? No. And that's what we call gilding the lily. Adding to my stash, but I don't need to.
Well, pretty
but
much.
But I'm really enjoying the whole process.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yes. Have you gilded the lily in any sense of the way? I mean, I'm talking about like even, like have you bought anything?
I have, and actually mine have been more centered on trying to get my spinning up to speed.
Yes.
So to speak. You know, we talked last week about my dyeing and working with raw fiber. So I do have something that I added with that. Let me take my knitting off. I have a
She wears her knitting like
I do.
a beautiful ornament.
I have a cute little knitting pen, but you know, of course I don't get it out for this. I just use my neck. But one of the things I got, and this is another one I'm going to have to look. This is an eBay purchase. Now, I want you to first of all check this out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a novelty yarn, as you can see.
Yes.
Now this yarn is very happy.
That is a happy yarn.
Okay. It is, let's see, Knitting Fever, Pizzazz, okay. Now I got it, I won an auction, I got 10 skeins of this. Lordy, that's a lot of novelty yarn.
That is a lot of novelty yarn.
But what I liked about it was, it has, I don't know if you can see, it has the little kind of boucle bumps along the string core. Now touch it. It doesn't feel bad, right?
No.
It's a soft yarn.
It is.
Okay? What I wanted was, when I was at the alpaca farm, those of you, I won't go back there because you know that makes the episode go too long.
Just watch the last episode. Save yourself some time.
But she weaves, and I so want to weave because I've got all this yarn I'm making. What a great thing to do.
Yeah.
I can't knit fast enough to knit it all, but she was doing some really beautiful wraps and things with her yarn that she has, but then she would add like a length of a novelty yarn here and there. Just like she put all of her beautiful yarns, I'm not going to remember warp and weft. The longest part of the weaving process, she used each, every 2 or 3 strands, she would have a different type of yarn, all in a certain colorway. So it all goes together. It's not like random rainbow stuff.
Right.
But it's like she would take all blues or
it's very planned.
It's very planned. And if you only have like a stripe of this going through a big project, it doesn't come out looking like the party in the ball thing here.
Like, well, I mean, you can knit a sweater out of a lot of things. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to look good at the end.
Well, can you imagine a sweater like this for my size?
I'm sure that some people would think that would be fabulous.
It would be great to wear when you are backpacking in the forest because you could be found. But I love it because it has like orange and red and purple and stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, why don't I try spinning with the same kind of a heart that she was doing her weaving, which was instead of sticking with one fiber and make it all conservative, let's be artistic and try things. And so I got this to try doing some spinning. So what I did...
Okay, so wait, I'm sorry, I'm a little
Yeah.
confused. So you bought that yarn.
This is my purchase.
That was your purchase.
From eBay.
So that you could learn kind of how to reproduce that your own.
Well, not so much. I wanted to use it in my spinning.
Okay.
I'm trying to create more of an art yarn. I mean, like you can go to any yarn store or online and purchase a 2 or a 3 ply or a 4 ply yarn or more plies, whatever. A straight
100.
yarn, right? That's
Yes.
easy to find.
Yes.
But yarns that have texture
Mm-hmm.
and that are creative and that have visual interest in them, those are things that you can't find.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, I love being able to spin just a straight yarn like I'd make a regular sweater out of or
Yes.
something, and I love that. But I thought it'd be really fun to try doing some artistic things and maybe try doing like a cowl,
Mm-hmm.
a smaller piece, an accent piece, or
Right.
add it with some other plain yarn and create something that nobody else will have. How fun is that?
That is fun.
So what I did, I made some rollags, okay? So I took my little bits I cut some bits off of the skein in lengths probably about that long. And then this was, I think it was last week was the week, I think it was after I talked to you guys, my husband helped me put together my blending board.
That's very big news. I know.
So like they're expensive, and people use them to make rollags for spinning.
Yeah.
And so it has water on it still from where I spilled water earlier.
It's a family trait.
That's all
We
right.
spill things. But as long as it's tea, it's okay.
okay,
Not
people.
tea. No
Don't-
tea.
Don't spill tea.
Don't ever spill the tea.
Okay, so I did a photo shot earlier, but there's in the center, the rollag I started with, and here's the yarn, and I use these knitting needles for peeling the stuff off, but let's get to that later. Because here is the blending board, and I'm going to link to where I got stuff. This is a cutting board that I got on Amazon. I think it's about $9 or $10, okay? Most expensive thing here is this carding cloth, okay? I got it through an not Amazon. Everything's Amazon. You were born on Amazon, my friend.
Gosh.
No. But it was through a Facebook group, actually. I think it was a Rolag group, but I know I've seen the same thing happen in groups in Ravelry where they will go through and go, okay, well, we'll do a group buy. But if you don't want to go to all that hassle, you can just buy a piece of blending board cloth on Etsy. And so I removed from the back, I used just a pair of, I had needle nose type pliers, pulled the teeth out from the back. These teeth go upwards toward the handle. They have a little bit of a dip to them like this. And the whole purpose is that you use it to take plain fibers and you blend them together along with whatever add-ins you want to throw in, like some Angelina, mohair locks, different things like that, and you create a rollag. Now this is what's left. After I was spinning like a happy camper and then realized I need to have one to show you. So
Don't spin it all.
this was, you can see how it kind of expands after you take them off too. I'll make it closer so you can admire it. You don't have to see my board anymore. Okay, so you can see I have silk in this. I have Angelina, the sparkle of that. I was using, in the center, there's oranges. Then there's some greens and blues. And what you do then, it's rolled like this, like a Tootsie Pop. And you're just going to take the end of it like this. And you start spinning from that. And it's going to come in the order that you see there. And so I use the blending board to make my rollag. I do have some tips. Some people have trouble with how to apply their fibers to the blending board. It has teeth. You can touch them. They're not sharp, but you're trying to catch the fiber in the teeth, but it needs to get into the teeth in order to, if it all just sits on top, it's a mess. It's a hot mess. So you want to be able to get the fibers in there. So I found this brush, which I thought worked very well. I'm trying to look for the name of it. It is a Wooster brush. It's for cutting in. It's a great size, like this, and it allows you to do this. Once you apply the fibers, you do this to work them into the teeth, and it doesn't hurt the teeth. It's nice and soft. Very reasonably priced, this one. Last week I talked to you about a doggy brush that you can get at the dollar store, and I used that also, but the teeth were a little bit more firm. It was a kitty cat brush. I think it was like under $3. You can use that. I have seen other brush-like tools, but honestly, the best tool I have is the brush I use for my bunnies, and it's called the Doggy Man. That, and it is super soft. You can see that I don't know if I can see the tines are a little bit bent like that.
And it matches the tines on here.
Matches the tines. They're super soft. It has give. I'm showing it to me like I need to see it here. Do you see how it has give here? The dollar store version did not have give. It's like it's glued on just like the board is. And so there's no give. But this one has give. And what I found was that when you applied, I'll try and demo it a little bit. When I'm applying fiber, I'm pulling out, I would take the braid that I'm working with, the dyed braid, and the thing I found that works the best so that you get a soft rolag as opposed to a really condensed hard one to spin, is that you want to pull the fiber out of your braid littler bits at a time. And I started at the bottom, and I would lay them out. Here, let me just do a demo. And see, there was more there that time. You don't have to be real conservative with it. I'm dropping stuff all over. Okay, and I started at the bottom and worked to the top, because at the end, to get it into the pins, then I want to start at the top and brush down. So do you see how it just worked in there, Brianna?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like before it was laying on top, and now it's actually pressing more against the board.
Right.
There's really not a lot above the pins.
Now, one of the things I added in this mix is some they call it bird's nest, and I got it from Kamaj. I don't know if she says Kamaj or Kamaj, but she does silks. And this is silk bird nest, they call it. It's like leftover bits of silk from the silk making process. And it works just as well with that. And you can see they sit more on the top. Well, you can't see that, but I could see it.
Well, I can see it too.
Can you? Okay. So do you see how it went on the board? It didn't stay on my brush. And what I found before is that when I tried using other brushes, it would pull the fiber off as opposed to putting it down in. And it's super gentle. I want you to feel the tines on that. They're not hard.
No, they're not.
It's not like it's a pokey thing, and they have the give, so they're not ripping on your fiber. And so it created a really nice, lush rolag.
It seems to me like it would also be a little bit more airy. It wouldn't be as dense of a rolag.
Yeah, now feel the rolag itself. There's a lot of fiber in there.
You can see I'm really able to kind of,
I've
there's a lot of
seen-
air in there.
Now if I go backwards, you see how it's taking it off? So if you don't like what you've done, I suppose you can pull it off and going down. I also use this same brush for cleaning I have I think it's a Louette Junior drum carder that's like, this wide. Seriously, who makes a drum carder that's only this wide?
Louette?
Oh, yeah. I have my eyes set on an electric one because my shoulders aren't up to doing this all the time. But anyway, it works great for cleaning your drum carder too. It's super soft. It gets between the bristles, but it doesn't mess them, it doesn't bend them or anything. And I just love all I don't know where you can see it best, but I love all the little bits of things that come up in these types of art rolags, or you can do the same thing as a bat.
I think we need to add a really important note here.
What's that?
Dibs.
Dips?
I call dibs.
Oh,
on
dibs!
this.
Oh, I thought dip. I thought
You
she was
have
talking
to
food.
spin
I was
it.
like, I'll have dip.
Like, what kind of dip?
Yeah.
Chips and dip?
Yeah.
I call dibs on that.
Awesome.
That's gorgeous.
I love it when she likes something I do.
Too.
Yeah, so this is pretty fun. I'm telling you, I did 2 ounces with all the add-ins that became 4 ounces. I did it while I was watching TV with John, and I had a nice big stack of things to spin the next day, and I got 2 big skeins out of it, and I have jumbo bobbins on my Hansons.
Yeah.
So I really like this. Now, if you're fancy, you would want to use the wood staples, like they do on a drum carder. But you know what? John and I talked about it, and I don't want to purchase another tool that I only use for this. Mm-hmm. And so he just screwed it in. We applied a little Gorilla Glue to the back and screwed it in, and it's great.
So, how much would you say that this cost you total for everything?
This was under $10 here, but the carding cloth is what's expensive. I think it was $55.
Okay.
Okay, so you're talking $65, screws and glue we had, and but they normally sell for like $150 up to $250.
That's saving a lot of money.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And
I wasn't sure if you knew that.
I think at $150, I don't think I would have done it. No, I'd rather just get my drum carder, but I won't be able to afford that for a while, so I'm just enjoying doing this. What I take them off with is I had these back when I was not using circulars. I used these kinds of needles.
What size needles are those?
They're Brittany size 17 US.
You could do some damage with those.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And so when you're done putting all your fiber on, the way we talked about coming up, actually I'm doing the opposite, but what I did was, let's pretend this is filled fiber here all over, and you're trying to get it off. So I just had this big old, back when I was much younger and tried knitting, and I thought I'd learn it on my own, and I didn't. So I had some of these old knitting needles left. This is a size 7 extra long. It's just big enough for me to go between the tines there, and it would allow me to lift up a little end. So save your old knitting needles, even if you don't think you'll use them. And then you make I put the two ends opposite. I really could use some longer ones, but I'm not going to buy. I'm just going to use what I have. And so you sandwich the tail in between the two, and then you give it a couple rolls, and then you're going to give it a pull. Excuse me. Keep rolling and pulling. And what I do is usually give it a little tiny brush on the board if I were making this. And then the reason why you use two is that if you use one, you'll compact your fibers even more, and it will be like arm wrestling trying to get them out of there.
So squishing it like this was probably not very helpful.
No, it's okay. It's all right. So that's basically how you get them off. So I would say if you're interested in doing any of these kind of things, start collecting the little tools. And you might be lucky and find some of these things at, de-stashes or whatever. So I'm just one for, I end up fixating on something.
Yes.
And I really want to see it through, so sometimes I have to purchase from Amazon because I'm too lazy or too anxious to wait for what somebody else might do.
Yeah.
On their de-stash.
I think that was really kind of an ingenious way of MacGyvering your own blending board.
Yeah.
That was really smart.
Well, I stole the idea.
That person who came up with it was very smart, and you're very smart for doing it on your own.
Totally. I felt brave.
Yeah.
Although I didn't do most of the work, I just did most of the finding.
Mm-hmm.
So now I had my Rolex, I had my little bits of novelty yarn, and I had those cut up, and they were all put inside of here too. That ties back to that purchase. And so... Sorry,
yeah,
that's definitely getting
that's
long. Oh no! Do you see how many minutes?
53.
Okay, this is the last. I promise. I'll
that
save
yarn
my other.
Wasn't honestly a hint. I promise.
I'll save my. I'll save my other share for next time. But this is the yarn I made with it, and it is coarse fun.
So pretty.
See if I can show you any of the little bits. Let me see if I can find here. So. You see just how fun that is that when it wraps around the coarse spun like that and creates just almost looks like flowers to me. I'm really hampering the light and everything here, so you really can't see what I'm hoping you'll see. But anyway, it's not like an art yarn that's as big around as your thumb.
No,
it's a thinner one.
I say that's worsted weight in some areas.
Yeah.
And maybe like a heavy worsted in other areas.
Yeah.
Definitely not like an unusable yarn.
I think so. And for things that, you wouldn't mind as an accent piece, I think it would work out well. I also, this last week, worked on one that was the same principle using the Rolex, but this one had more of mohair, which was dyed.
That's really pretty.
Isn't that pretty? This is a braided mohair that I dyed when I was with Peggy. And this one, it was a dark brown yarn that had some golds and greens in it, and I added the mohair. I was trying to replicate the look of flowers. From that last spin, I thought, oh my goodness, those little bits of novelty yarn look like flowers. And so I ended up, the lighting is awful for this. Let's see. Well, hopefully you can see. Take off my scarf because that's driving me crazy. Maybe my shirt can be There we go. Do you see how the little bits of mohair look like a bud? And so I think this is one I'm very tempted to knit up myself.
Beautiful. And what would you do with something like that? What would you?
I think this needs to be a scarf or a cowl or something. But anyway, so
Very pretty.
I have other things to show you that I have to wait till next week because apparently I don't know how to do a short episode.
No, but remember what we learned? We don't have to say everything in one episode.
Okay.
Because there's a whole other thing that I want to talk about too, but we'll
No, I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't. You didn't. You're fine. Because you did a lot of spinning today, and you were teaching us about the blending board. It's okay. You're so good.
We'll
You're
get
so
this.
good. Honestly, will.
Okay, we'll get it. We'll get the hang of this.
But you know what? Until then, we've had a ton of fun.
Oh, it has been fun.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
And we hope you see you next time. And until then, remember, you are Knitworthy.
Bye.
Bye.